Hi viewers, welcome to the Grammar channel. Today we are going to learn about the lesson The Rat Trap. A rat trap written by Selma Lagerlöf belong to Sweden whose stories have been translated into many languages. This story Rattrap is set in the middle of the mines of Sweden which is rich in iron ore. It gives us the message that the emotions of love and acceptance can spread through anyone. Selma was the first woman to win the National Nobel Prize in Literature in 1909. The characters: the peddler. He is the central character of the story. He is an unnamed man who lives as a tramp wandering the countryside and selling rat traps. As he does not make enough money from this to survive, the rat trap peddler also engages in petty thefts and begging. So the characters of peddler is a vagabond, thief, beggar, witty, philosopher, pragmatist and humorous. Next, Edla Wilmanson. Edla is the daughter of the Iron Master. She is described as not at all pretty but modest and quite shy. She is exceptionally kind. She convinces the peddler to come to her house and then convinces her father to let the peddler stay for Christmas Eve. She is the most positive figure in the story, and her compassion and generosity are the reasons for the peddler's transformation. So, the characters of Edla: kind, compassionate, friendly, charming, modest, shy, persuasive, sensitive, understanding, hospitable, honest, and innocent. Next, Iron Master. Iron Master is Edla's father and the man who owns Ramsjo Ironworks. He is very important. He is a very prominent ironmaster. He steps by at his forge every day and to watch the work and inspects the quality of his products. In his younger days, he was in the military, so he mistakes the peddler for his old regimental comrade, Captain Ward's stall. Characters of Ironmaster: greedy, cautious, hospitable, suspicious, unkind, and a taskmaster. The crofter. This is an old man who lets the peddler spend the night at his house. As the old man is lonely, he is glad to have company and provides the peddler with food, tobacco, and conversation. He is a very kind and generous old man, but the peddler repays his generosity by stealing 30 kronos from him. Characters of Crofter is lonely, happy, friendly, generous, and hospitable. Chapter sketch. Rat Trap is a story that gives us a psychological insight into human nature. The author highlights how greed for material things entraps human beings. The story upholds the belief that the essential goodness of a human being can be awakened through love and understanding. It brings into focus the idea that the world is a rat trap. Riches, joys, shelter, and food are all lucrative baits to trap mankind. The chapter Rat Trap covers the theme of the basic human need for companionship and shows the negative effects of loneliness. The story stresses on the fact that most human beings are prone to fall into the trap of material benefits. The author targets the materialistic approach of the people. The worldly riches have disillusioned them and they are running after the things which are temporary. Let's move on to the summary. Rat Trap, the beautiful emotional story about a rat trap seller who was very poor and unhappy man. To make both ends meet, he inclined towards bad practices like petty thefts and begging. He is all alone in this world and is leading a vulnerable and disturbed life. To avoid negative thoughts, he says that the whole world is a big rat trap and this trap offers everyone the comforts of life using various types of baits. These baits, in return, make their lives uncomfortable and often lead us to miseries. Every night he used to search for shelter because he had no place to live. One evening, He was offered shelter by an old crofter, but he instead stole his money. To protect himself, the hawker chose to elude into the forest, but very soon he realized that he himself was caught in a rat trap. Later on, he finds a way and takes shelter in an ironmaster's home where he is disguised as Captain Starling. The ironmaster thought that he was his old friend and invited him to his house. Initially, he rejected the offer but accepted it when her daughter pleaded with him. The following day, he was stopped by the ironmaster's daughter for celebrating Christmas, even though he was caught by her as she came to know that he was not Captain Starley but a peddler. When they visited the church, both the ironmaster and her daughter came to know that he was a thief who had stolen money from the old crofter. They were shocked as now they regret giving shelter to a thief and wondered what things he must have stolen from their house too. But to their surprise, instead of stealing this time, the peddler had left a gift for her daughter, a Rattrap, and left a note of thanks requesting her to return the money to the crofter. Chapter highlights. The story begins like a fairy tale. The central character is a beggar and a petty thief who goes about selling rat traps of wire to make a small living. He finds it difficult to make both ends meet. It makes him reflect about his own condition and the world at large. He realizes that the whole world is nothing but a big rat trap. It offers rich and varied baits to people who bite on them and get trapped into the rat trap. The storyline unfolds gradually with the various baits being offered to the beggar. The old man that the tramp meets is generous with his hospitality, but the bait of the 3 10 kroner bills is enough to tempt him. Next, at the Ramso Ironworks, while seeking shelter for the night, the tramp bites the bait offered to him by the owner, the ironmaster of mistaken identity. Edla, the ironmaster's daughter, offers yet another bait of full-hearted generosity, comfortable living, magically peaceful Christmas for the tramp. Finally, the bitter truth draws on the horse. Edla is downcast when she learns that the peddler is a thief. The tramp undergoes a change of heart after experiencing her kindness. He returns the stolen money and writes a letter to her, thanking her for helping him escape the rat trap. He attains nobility of spirit and becomes Captain von Stalin. The story ends with the victory of human goodness. The conclusion. The rat trap story is based on mines in Sweden that are rich in iron ore. This story gives us the message that understanding, love, and nature of the goodness of man can make people better. To sum up, from the story we learn that we can change the world through kindness and compassion. In addition, it teaches us that materialistic things never bring inner joy, only love and respect does.